Good day, everyone. Welcome to another video. Today, we will be talking about different topics on the gaming news that has happened during this week. First of all, as what we have heard from last week, that Xbox will be porting some of their games, four games, to other platforms. Now, we have been given the confirmation what games are they, as you can see in the screen. The four games that were said to be ported to other platforms are Grounded, Pentiment, High Five Rush, and Sea of Thieves. While many or majority of the YouTube content creators have already guessed these four games, and I also guessed it when I was my previous video about the business update of Xbox. So this is the four games that were confirmed that are to be ported to the different console to the different multi-platforms like Switch and PlayStation. But not all of them are also to be ported to all consoles. According to the article here at Xbox Wire, that the games that are ported, first of all, Pentiment from Obsidian Entertainment, a truly unique, critically acclaimed, award-winning narrative action game for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch on February 22. So it will launch on Switch and PlayStation tomorrow immediately. And High Five Rush, an award winning beloved rhythm based action game with the sync of music from Tango Gameworks, coming to PlayStation 5 on March 19. So it will be March 20 upon our time here in the Philippines. And it is available for pre order and pre purchase on the PlayStation 5 digital storefront on February 22. So it will be available for pre order by tomorrow. While I expected High Five Rush will go to PlayStation, I was also expecting it to go to Switch. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because of the specs of the Switch, maybe it cannot fully run Hi-Fi Rush. So I don't know. This is just my assumption and speculation on my part. Grounded from Obsidian Entertainment, which is a co-op survival adventure phenomenon, which is coming to PlayStation 4, 5, Switch on April 16. Crossplay is supported. So this is to be expected since, like what they said, live service games, community-based games will be coming to all platforms. While this is the most mind-boggling item for me, not because it is on other platforms, but it is only available on PlayStation, not on the Switch. Sea of Thieves, the shared world adventure game from Rare, coming to PlayStation 5 on April 30. So it says it is available starting tomorrow on February 23, 22, sorry, having built a compassionate community of more than 35 players around the world. The support of crossplay will consist for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Will allow players to experience epic pirate adventures with friends on more platforms. So here I was thinking, why was the Switch not included in the Sea of Thieves? Especially if we are Xbox, we want also Sea of Thieves to go to Switch like Grounded. I do not believe if the Switch cannot handle the game, since Grounded is a more newer game than Sea of Thieves. Maybe because of the various updates of Sea of Thieves, maybe because of the memory of the Switch cannot handle it. I don't know. But maybe I think in the future, or maybe if there's the Switch 2, like what it is rumored, it will release, I think, if next year or later this year. I think Sea of Thieves will really definitely, and Hi-Fi Rush will definitely go on to the next iteration of the Switch, whether it is this year or next year, since we already but know that a Switch 2 is coming. So those are the games that Xbox will be porting to other consoles. Well, as for other news, a beloved Xbox OG game, the Star Wars Battlefront, returns to Xbox with 64 online battles this March. So for those fans of the original Star Wars Battlefront of the OG Xbox, now you can play the original Battlefront, I'm sorry, Battlefield in your new system, the X and S, with 64 player online multiplayer game. So if you are a fan of Star Wars and are a fan of this game in specifically Battlefront on the OG Xbox, and you feel like nostalgic and want to play it again, and now's your chance since it will release on March. Now, after Xbox has port four games in general to other platforms, two specifically on Switch, and all of the four games to PlayStation, Nintendo has returned the gesture of Xbox by also where is it? By also revealing that they will be releasing these seven games on Xbox, specifically some games on Game Pass, like for example, these are the list of the games: Other Crab's Treasure, Contra, Operation Galuga, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrush, Penny's Big Breakaway today, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Also, I also mentioned already the Star Wars Battlefront and Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. Some are to be released, like the Other Crab's Treasure on April 25, while Contra on March 12. Mickey Mouse will be to be announced. Also, Sword Art Online is to be announced, while Shin Megami Tensei is June 25, and Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection on March 14, while Penny's People Breakaway today on February 21, which is today. So, this is a good thing that companies are in their partnerships are giving give and take relationship between Xbox and Nintendo. Xbox has given Nintendo two games, but Nintendo will release seven games during this year on Xbox. So it tells us that we should be prepared for a multi-platform future where maybe in closer closer that there will be no more exclusives for a certain platform, since two of the three biggest console manufacturers, Nintendo and Xbox, are already doing it by giving each other their games, even though it's not their full slate of games. At least it is a start. Then at least I'm already telling you now that you should not focus anymore on your console warring, whether you're a Nintendo fanboy, an Xbox fanboy, or a PlayStation fanboy. You should stop already with the console warring and just accept the fact that in the future there will be no more exclusives in a certain platform, and it will be all multi-platform. This is just the start. They are just giving you the small games, the indie games, some games, but later down the line, maybe a year from now, or maybe later this year, we don't know, or a few years later, maybe Halo, Gears, Forza will go to Nintendo, and Mario, Legend of Zelda, Fire Emblem will go to Xbox. I don't know if PlayStation, and but I think in the future PlayStation will also turn around their decision on maintaining the exclusivity, and maybe we'll go to the multi-platform route. I don't know with them. It depends on their decision, because like what I said, at the end of the day, those companies, those console makers, manufacturers are still a business. And at the end of the day, what is important for them is to have the max amount of profit imaginable. They don't really care for exclusives, because I think the only reason they care for exclusives is for them to sell more consoles, sell more units. But now, like what Matt Booty, Finn Spencer, Sarah Bond has said in the business update last week, now we live in a time where the games are the ones that dictate the sales of consoles, not the other way around, where you use your games to sell consoles. Unlike now, games itself is the one that are the ones that dictate the sales of consoles, or units. For example, if for example Fortnite is not available on a certain platform, and also Minecraft or Roblox, those three games, it will hurt the sales of the console, since majority of players or the people who want to play that game or buy the console want to play those games. So it is now more game oriented, not console oriented. That is also why one of the reasons why PlayStation is also pivoting from first party exclusivity and going to more multi-platform route, even though they did not specifically mention Xbox or Switch. It's still the same. They're still going to the multi-platform route. From before, they tried to release their games on PC with a 2 year interval. Maybe they will lessen it, make it to 1 year or 6 months, or maybe go day and date. I don't know. It depends on them. But I think that will be the future that will happen, since they themselves have fallen short of their 25 million units sold of the PlayStation 5, and especially they lost 10 billion in their stocks and their market capitalization. So I think maybe because of this, they will go more hard on the multi-platform route. So especially those hardcore fanboys from any console or any box, stop your worrying, stop your complaining and bitching, and start to accept the fact that we will go to the future with games will be mostly multi-platform. Maybe there will be a time or a future where some games will still stay exclusive to their platform, but if things are going the way they are, I think it's still going to be all around, since I think Xbox in the future will still do multi-plat in all their games, since they want where everybody plays, everybody wins. So if they're going to go with that slogan, I think in the future, even those temple games will go to the different platforms in the future. I don't know in how many years. And I think if PlayStation saw the success that Xbox is doing, maybe they will follow suit. While Switch is already doing it with some of their games, especially here Shin Megami Tensei 5 here in the list that I mentioned. This is a temple game, a very famous title in the Switch series, which if you're a Persona fan, you should give this a try as Shin Megami Tensei 5. So this is the most excited game that I am looking forward to. Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. Since I am an anime lover and I watched and played Sword Art Online game, I played the Fatal Bullet game. I bought the Sword Art Online Underworld game. I forgot the title of the game itself, but I also bought that game. So, but I have not yet finished it. But I'm a real fan of the Sword Art Online series. So I'm very hype of this game. I just hope that six of these games or maybe all of these games will go to Game Pass. I don't know if it will really come to Game Pass. We'll just see on what announcement or what type of deals did Nintendo and Microsoft did for these games. So, like what I said, a give and take relationship between the two. It's already bearing fruit on their partnership. Well, and we will just see if Sony will follow suit, or will Sony be stubborn with their ways, especially they have bad blood with Nintendo and Sega. I don't know, especially Sega is close with Xbox, and now Nintendo is also trying to foster a good relationship with Xbox. We will just see in the future if who will win out. Uh, PlayStation and his its exclusive to PlayStation and PC only approach, or will Xbox and their style of putting all their games multi-platform to Switch and partnerships with Sega and Nintendo work in the future. We will just see. We don't know what will happen in the future. So this is the main topic that I would like to talk to you about. Like what I said in the title, all Call of Duty will be coming to Game Pass day one. Here we see an article from PureXbox.com by Liam Dolan saying that Phil Spencer had an interview Let's read the article, some parts. Following the announcement of last week, Diablo 4 will be added to Game Pass. Phil Spencer shared a brief update about what it means to the rest of the Activision Blizzard library. In an interview with GameFile, Spencer reiterated how the plan was to eventually deliver the full portfolio of Activision Blizzard games. While he did not directly name drop Call of Duty or certain other games, he did clarify everything will eventually come across, including day one releases. So, if if we are to believe what it is said on this article, that means every game that Activision Blizzard owns will go to Game Pass, including the new titles. Even though he did not specifically said the name of the title, but what they are doing with Diablo 4, putting it on Pass, that it signifies to us that the strategy of Xbox does not change. Every first party they own is still game day one release on Game Pass. So if you are a Call of Duty player, so I think this is a way or a chance to entice you to join Game Pass, since you can get the game for essentially free instead of buying the 70 or $100 edition of the game, especially if they have plenty of transactions. I think this is a way to save money and also add value to your Game Pass subscription. If you're an existing Game Pass subscriber like me, I am I am subscribed for at least until 2026 with I am using the Ultimate Edition, Ultimate tier, for since I have an Xbox and I have a PC, and so that if I plan to buy a handheld device, I can still play my Xbox games there if I wish. So it for existing consumers or subscribers, it adds value to our subscription, and this is one of the reasons why we are excited and we want the Activision Blizzard acquisition to go through, because we are hoping and expecting that Game Pass, all the Activision Blizzard games will come to Game Pass day one. So they are still focused on the ecosystem. They want to grow the ecosystem, and what better title to help grow the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem with Call of Duty, with the best selling game for the last how many years. So if they will still continue with their annual Call of Duty release, it will always every year add subscribers, since they will keep on marketing this game at the Call of Duty, whether what iteration it is, on Game Pass and Xbox, so that we will buy Xbox consoles, we will subscribe to their Game Pass and join the ecosystem. So, other news that I found is that for those who are wary that Xbox is ditching physical games, here is an article again from Pure Xbox saying that Xbox insists not ditching physical games. That's not a strategic thing for us. So they're saying here, again, with an interview with Phil Spencer on GameFile, he said that I will say our strategy does not hinge on people moving all digital and getting all rid of physical. That's not a strategic thing for us. Although, however, he did note how right now a majority of Xbox users are buying games digitally and is just really following what the consumers are doing. Although Xbox is supportive of physical products, does have some economic concerns regarding, according to the source, mentioning how game consoles have kind of the last consumer electronic device, and there's a drive in them to make it real issue going forward. And the real issue is just in terms of the number of manufacturers that are building drives and costs associated with this, the cogs we are going to put in the console. As we have fewer suppliers and fewer buyers, the cost of drives does have an impact. It is true that especially now these are dying, since we have things like USB, we use the cloud. we use more on email or internet. That is why. So I think in a business sense, they're saying that physical games, or especially making those drives for the consoles, like the disc drive, the DVD drive, is getting more expensive since they are get being less and less suppliers about that. In a business sense, that is yes, but sometimes if you are a gamer, sometimes you want games that you want to feel on your hand, you want the disc, you want it to last you forever because you're afraid that maybe Xbox, Sony, or Nintendo can just shut down the servers, or you don't own anything. I don't want to think that. I think maybe down the line we will have regulation on about digital purchases. But I don't think it is something to be afraid of losing physical games, since me before, from my times when I still have a PlayStation 1, a Sega Dreamcast, and a PlayStation 2. I always buy my games no, not digital, physically. But as the years came by, my Dreamcast was already not working. It was damaged. My PlayStation 1 is still working, but my PlayStation 2 was also damaged, so I was not able to use my remaining physical disc for the games that I want to play. And especially now, they are just make taking up space on my cabinets. So sometimes you will think about it because of the space related issues. Especially the PS4 did not accept any backwards compatible games of the PlayStation 2 and also PlayStation 3 games. So all my physical discs from the PlayStation 3 times to the PlayStation 1, all those discs are cannot be played through the PlayStation 4. Especially now, if you have a PlayStation 5, you can only back compat PlayStation 4 games. Then how about my games from the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 3 generation? Unlike if unlike in Xbox, even though it's mostly digital, all the games, including titles from the OG Xbox 360, you can all play them. Even though maybe some people will complain and will comment, but we have emulation. Yeah, we have emulation, but sometimes playing the actual disc is different from just being able to emulate the game from previous generations. So that's why sometimes I understand why some people are upset about digital physical going away because the sentimental value of those discs. But if you're like me, I am okay with physical disc going away, but I know that physical disc will not go away entirely, since there will still be companies like Limited Run who will offer physical disc, and other small companies. I think if physical disc will go away, will be removed from companies like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, I think there will be companies that will sprung up and offer physical disc for games. Like when I before I was recording this video, I saw Mahdi Play's video about, he said that Limited Run is offering physical copies of High Five Rush now and Pentiment after the announcement of Nintendo the partner direct. So I think more companies like Limited Run in the future will sprung up and keep physical games alive. But for me, I am okay with digital since it leaves me space. And even though I know that here, since I'm here in the Philippines, I have my go-to way of buying games is more on digital, since here in my area is there's no much physical copies, especially Xbox games that they are selling here in the Philippines, because here is more on we are more on of a PlayStation type country here. But even though Xbox is here, majority or all the major retailers of these games focus primarily more on PlayStation here in the Philippines instead of Xbox, except if they are places like Data Blitz where it's really they just sell games and all. So there you can buy the Xbox, Switch, PC games, PlayStation games, but it is not accessible to the whole Philippines since it's only available on the major cities. So on some parts of the Philippines, you have no way to access those games. Instead, your only choice is to buy them digitally. So that is why there are pros and cons to everything. There are pros and cons in keeping physical discs. One of the pros is that you can keep that game forever, and the company cannot do anything to let you stop using that or playing that. But the one of the cons is it takes up space, uh, costly, and is the those physical discs accessible to your area? Like in my area, it's not that really accessible. I need to go to the next city just to buy those physical discs, especially if you're an Xbox player. Unlike if I play digital, I just pay on the internet. I have my game there and does not cost any space for me. But there is a con for this is that maybe in the future companies will remove those games. But I think if you already bought the game, I think you still have entitlement and ownership of the game, unlike in PlayStation's service terms. I think Xbox did not mention anything like that. So let's just hope that it will be better in the future for physical and digital games in the future. So the last topic that I want to talk to you about, no, it's not this. It is about Elden Ring, especially if you're a fan of Elden Ring. They say that Elden Ring Shadow of Id 3 will be coming to Xbox on June. Where is it? I saw it here. In June 24th for Xbox Series X and S. This is a DLC of Elden Ring. For those who are a big fans of Elden Ring, so next this year, this upcoming June, they will be having release a new DLC. While I am I did not yet played Elden Ring, but people are saying online that it is a very good game. But I am not really into that horror type Souls like game. It's not my thing actually. So, but I can see if a game is great through the reviews and the gameplays that I saw from other YouTubers. But that game is not for me. I'm sorry about that. But for those who played the game and are excited about the new DLC, you can see that June 2024, 21, June 21 will have this DLC. But I think it is mentioned here. Did it mention about a price? Let us see. Yeah, it costs $40 for all platforms with a bundle containing the base game and the DLC pack. So it is, I think, from Software's way to get more sales for Elden Ring. $40 for both base game and DLC. I think that's a good deal, but I don't know if how much does the base game cost today. I will look at it at the Microsoft Store later on. But if you haven't yet played or haven't yet bought Elden Ring, the base game, I think this is a good time to save up for June 21st for those who are excited for this game so that you can have both the base game and the DLC for just $40. So, again, thank you for watching this video. I know this is getting long already for almost a 30-minute video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is the Gaming Aztec. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, everyone.